Hey, this is Jonathan, and I am going to be working on something a little bit different today, I think. So last time, what did I do? I added some unit tests to the filler. One thing that I think I want to do is move this shuffling logic out of here, actually. It probably doesn't really belong here. Yeah, I feel like instead of passing the RNG in here and then doing the shuffling here, I want to shuffle somewhere else. Or like have these be pre-shuffled before I put them in here. But you know, that's not going to be hard. Let's just do it now. I did have other plans for what I wanted to do today though, so let's quickly get this going first. So instead of doing this, I'm just going to do this. Get rid of the standard RNG here, because we're not going to be passing that in anymore. Yeah, because shuffling is a separate operation from filling. I do not want to conflate the logic. So... oh, and these have to be mutable. Okay. I can do that. No problem. Yeah, and then we can do an RNG shuffle. RNG has to be mutable as well, of course. Get rid of this, and there we go. I think that fixes everything. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. So now if I run this again, it should be fine. Shouldn't have any problems. That should pass. Also, I still haven't cleaned this up. I intend on doing it at some point, but not right now. So today's plan is actually going to be doing a bit of research rather than necessarily writing so much code. Oh, hello. Cannot find value other items in scope. Oh, that's because this is the junk items instead. Alright. Let's run that again. I want to make sure that this passes still before I get going here. Another error. It's supposed to take 3 parameters, but I'm passing it 4. Oh, because I'm doing this. I'm still doing stuff in main. Actually, you know what? We don't need to do this. Yeah, we have a lot of unused imports now. We should get rid of those. Oh yeah, we're not gonna need those anymore. I feel like dealing with these right now, just because. Oh wait, the line numbers are misaligned now that I am. Alright, one passed. Now that I've actually edited the files, so. Yeah, I got rid of that already. Got rid of that, got rid of that, got rid of that. Oh, I can get rid of this too. Variables need to be mutable. No, it doesn't. Good to know. This one also doesn't need to be mutable. Oh, okay, none of these need to be mutable. Awesome. That feels not too bad. What's this? Oh yeah, no, I need that to be mutable for this. That's fine. That's never constructed. The frame limit's never used yet. Okay, cool, perfect. That's exactly what I need. Oh, there's errors now. Ooh, but I needed. What was it? Was it RNG? Yeah, I need rand RNG down here. Otherwise, I can't do that. So I'm gonna have to do these kinds of imports. I know there's like a nested syntax. I still haven't learned it yet. I don't know if it's even available on Stable yet, but I know it exists. Yeah, now we only have 2 warnings, so perfect. This time I wanted to look into the fuzz testing, so I guess I'll look up Rust fuzz testing. Okay. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff related to fuzzing, but I've never really known how that works. So I'm going to be looking into that right now. This seems to be a lot of good resources for this. I'm seeing a lot of this AFL thing popping up, so I might want to look at that first. It is the top result here. Fuzzing Rust code, okay. So how does this work? Used for finding security and stability issues. Oh, okay. Using pseudo-random data as input to the software. Oh, okay. I'm not sure I can even use this then. I guess we'll try and see what happens. Is it like... is it like you can only run this from like the top level? Is that how this works? Documentation to be found in the book. Okay. Okay. How does this work? Sanitizer support. So this only works with... oh. So it doesn't even work with Windows. That's nice. Well, I guess that is kind of out of the question then. I'm kind of curious now. Let's just keep reading and see how this works. Huh. So you can just like fuzz things? How does that work? Fuzz target. Okay, so we're gonna be, or we would be running some block of code within this fuzz target macro, it seems. Alright. Panic, etc. Write your fuzz target body to hit the entry point you need. Okay. Like, if this is all I have to do, then I don't really see how that could be, you know, irrelevant to what I'm doing, because I do kind of want to have random seed generation repeatedly. So yeah, this seems maybe like what I want. I mean, I could just kind of like manually do it though, with because I am using the rand crate already. Yeah. Okay. So that's... I don't know. That seems kind of like what I might want to do, but I'm not 100% sure this is actually what I want to do. Well, what I could do is just instead of this being seeded, I could just make it not seeded, and then it would just run over and over again. Or every time I run this test, it will always, you know, have a different result, so it might not always, you know, pass. But I don't know. I'm not really sure how I want to handle this exactly. Maybe I want to do one of those like continuous integration things. I haven't actually played with that either. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll look up Rust continuous integration. There we go. Oh, they even have a cargo chapter thing here. Test your project on Travis CI. Here's a sample Travis YAML file. Okay. Interesting. So, how does that work? That doesn't really tell me anything, though. Huh. Well... How does this work? Oh, here we go. Please see this for more information. That's cool. Very helpful. Okay. Ooh, okay. So how do I work with this, though? What this guide covers. How do I actually like hook my project up to something like this? How would that work? I'm curious. Uh-huh. Do I need to have this like hosted somewhere? I have no idea. Hmm. Yeah, but like how do I integrate it exactly? I'm still not entirely sure. This is not really clear to me. Huh. Oh, okay, here's a getting started guide. Perfect. Just follow the links. That's how you make it through life. Short guide using Java CI. Okay. Okay, maybe I should read core concepts for beginners instead. Uh-huh. Merging in small code changes frequently rather than merging in large change at the end of a development cycle. Okay. I mean, I might not need it for my purposes, but at the same time, it'd be kind of nice to learn anyway. I already kind of do, like, merging in small code changes frequently, though. So I don't quite understand. Okay, so yeah, it's like it automatically builds and tests. I'm pretty used to that. I've worked with other continuous integration systems before, so okay. I've never actually like set one up, but that's why I'm reading this. I'm going to build Java CI clones your GitHub repository into a brand new virtual environment. Carries out a series of tasks to build and test code. Okay. Okay, if one or more tasks fails, the build is considered broken. If none of the tasks fail, the build is considered passed. Yep. Okay. What if I don't want to deploy it somewhere? Okay, so this sounds like it might be even, like, overkill. I'm still gonna do it. It's all about learning. Yeah, definitely looking somewhat like overkill, but... Well, if I had a lot of tests, maybe I won't want to run all of them, and then having like a nightly, test run thing would be kind of nice, maybe, possibly. I mean, I don't expect to build out Mini-rando to be huge, but like I don't know, maybe I'll build off of it later, and yeah, maybe I'll have a lot more tests. I don't know. Okay, so there's some vocabulary. Ah, alright. So the job fails if the return code is non-zero. Oh, that seems pretty standard. Alright, build. You know, this could be useful for testing, like, I guess, if your code can be installed on, like, different operating systems, maybe? Okay. I'm not going to remember all this. There's no way I'm going to remember all of this. I'm probably just going to have to grope around and get a feel for it as I go, I think. Breaking the build. Yep, okay. Infrastructure and environment notes. Okay. Alright, now let's go back to getting started. Let's close that for now. Yeah, starting to get a little bit, starting to get up with a lot of tabs here. Let's start closing some stuff here. Things that I don't think I need so much right now. I'll leave it at that. Oh, so I need to sign up first. And then activate it and... Okay. Okay. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that hard. Full list, yeah, okay. It's optional. Alright, maybe I won't do this right now then, since it's going to involve, like, signing up for things, and I kind of don't really want to do that on camera, so let's just ignore that for now. So that seems like something I'll do another time. Back to IntelliJ. Okay, so maybe refactor this stuff now? That might be a good idea. So we had like one condition here, which was like, right, if any of these match. So I need to OR these conditions together. Yeah, that's what I need to do. Well, OR a bunch of conditions together. And that should be adequate. I'm gonna space this out a little bit nicer because it's kind of long. Well, I didn't want it to end up there. I also didn't want it to end up there. Also didn't want it to end up there. So it seems to like to do this indent thing. I know in some I guess, yeah, in some coding style guidelines you would want to do it that way. I kind of don't really like the look of that for at least this kind of purpose. Ugh, yeah, stop that. I kind of like these cases stacked like this with the ORs there. I know it's not, then it makes it less clear that this is all one big expression, but I don't know, I just kind of feel like it looks a little bit nicer this way. So I'm doing it this way. Gosh, so many extra spaces. I've gotten used to trying to get rid of white space now. It's a terrible habit that I've gotten into. But, well, I mean, since I have to do that at work anyway, I mean, I might as well get used to that. Kind of follow along. So yeah, if I do this instead, it should behave exactly the same. I'm not going to, like, verify it because this is kind of a small test anyway, but yeah. Pretty sure this is all I really needed to do with that. Okay, so now that we've got all this stuff up and running, let's see, was there anything else I wanted to do before I move on? I think I want to do something about this if let right here, because I got the option item and option location. I think I do want an else case. And in the else case, I think I will... For now, I'm just going to panic and say... missing item or location. Maybe I'll even like include yeah. So what's happening here again? So we take the progression items and we pop it. Right. If we're out of progression items, which seems a little bit weird. How would we have? Yeah, because we already get the length right here. So it seems pretty unlikely that this would ever happen. But just in case, we're just gonna throw in a little panic here. Yeah. So if we run out of items. I could do like an else if. But I think I'm just going to do like a general catch-all. Yeah. No, actually, you know what? That doesn't make sense. What am I doing? If I'm out of items or locations, then I don't have, you know, I don't have anything. So I wouldn't be able to really print anything. Let's just do... There's probably a better way of doing this. I know there's like some kind of like error panic type of thing. And I kind of... Yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like panics, but in this case I feel like if for some reason there's something missing, well, we have a bigger problem. So for now we're gonna panic. Can I do an else if let? Does that work? Probably. Yeah, I can probably just keep doing this. We actually do have all 4 cases here that could happen. So I'm going to just repeat that a couple of times. I don't know if this is the best way of handling the errors. It's a little bit clunky, but it's kind of what I've decided to do. Right, because this is going to try and choose a location, but if there's no location to choose, then we're in trouble. There might be some better debug information I could include here, actually, now that I think about it. Does it really matter, though, if I'm out of... Well... It does. This case doesn't really matter. This case doesn't matter, because if I'm out of both... When I fix one error, I'm going to run into the other error. So I should be okay if I just do this. Yeah, I think so. Because this covers one case. There's 4 cases total. But yeah, this covers one case. This covers the no items case. And this definitely will cover the no locations case. So if I have no items, it'll immediately match with this. If I don't have either, it'll go to this. And if I'm just out of locations, it'll also go to this. And once I fix like the locations, then it'll panic with this error instead. So I think this is okay. I'm not entirely happy with this, but I'm gonna roll with it as it is. There's definitely a cleaner way of handling all of this, I'm sure. I could also add some like debug asserts or something to make sure that this has items before you enter. I do like the extra error handling though, anyway, even if it is just panics. So, okay. Now that we have all that done, I feel like now is the time to actually start trying to integrate it with Amethyst. So, I've been planning this entire time to use Amethyst. I mean, I had the extern crate sitting there all along. And I do have it added as a dependency, although they may have come up with a new release recently. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check. How many releases? I think we're still on 0.8. Yep. So that's a thing. I might actually have to get rid of this at some point, so yeah, I'm still thinking about that. And yeah, let's get started, I guess. So it's been a while since I've actually touched Amethyst as well. Go figure. So what we could do is look at some of the examples. They have a bunch of nice examples here. Ooh. There's a lot more examples here now. Oh, they even have like networking stuff. That's actually kind of cool. Because yeah, I was really thinking of playing with the networking netcode for a multiplayer game. So yeah, that might be useful later on. But for now, I'm going to just ignore that. Let's look for a simple example. Simplest example I can think of would be maybe this Pong tutorial. I don't know what the difference is between like the Pong one and the Pong examples, because I see that there's like a set of like 3 stages of Pong. I know the book probably goes into detail about this, but this is all I really see. Alright, so we essentially want to just kind of do what the example is doing. But we're going to do things a bit differently, because we just want something very basic, and we don't want Pong. Pong is not what we're after. So usually there's like some kind of where's main? Main has to be in here somewhere, right? No? No, this is Pong.rs, of course. Main.rs is what I want to look for. Yeah, here's main. Yeah, so they have like a pipeline and everything. We're not going to have a pipeline to begin with. You won't want to like use Pong. I might not even need an Amethyst result to begin with. We just want to create a game, do a game.run, see what happens. Yeah, I'm not. Wow, yeah, there's so many new options too, like frame limit strategy. This is unfortunate. What am I supposed to know what this 144 is with frame limit? Oh, this is just the frame limit strategy, and the frame limit here is 144? Okay, sure. I'm not actually sure what that means, though. Would I want that to be like 60 frames? For like a 60 FPS game? I feel like that's what would make sense, right? Yeah, frame limit 60. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that then. Alright. Oh boy, we're gonna need an application first. So to get the application, that's not part of... Okay, well, it's probably in here. It's not part of any of these. Unless it's this. No, I don't think so. Yeah, it's gotta be in the prelude. Wouldn't be surprised. So, we'll do a use Amethyst prelude star import. Then we'll create an application. So that's what? Application build. Oh, and it has to take an assets directory and Pong. Whatever Pong is. Pong is probably a system? I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, this is almost overwhelming how much setup is happening in main. Certainly a lot bulkier than I kind of imagined it would be, but it's okay. We probably want this to be a mutable game, I imagine. We want to do an application... Oh, there's an application builder. Is that right? No, it's lowercase, of course. Of course. Function / method names are going to be lowercase in this language because they use snake case. And of course build requires certain arguments which we don't have, like this assets directory. We don't even have an assets directory. I guess I should make an assets directory. So yeah, what I typically like to do, and it's not necessarily the right thing or the best thing to do, is just have like a directory called resources. So that's what I'm doing. It's gonna be this. Let's call it resources. And there we go. So if I want to make an assets directory, I'm gonna do it with that as my as my assets directory. Yes. Kind of forgot what I was doing. And they're doing what? Oh, you're right. They're using like the string format. Because that allows you to concatenate strings. And I believe it happens at compile time even, because it's a macro. So that's kind of cool. Not that it really is going to make much of a difference in this case. But, you know, it's nice, I guess. Now, you just remembered. Yeah, application root. Where's application root? Application root-der. That was... Oh, that's from utils. Ooh. Oh, hey, this is an example of the new syntax. Cool. So you just gotta... At least I think it is. It looks like one. Yeah, that totally is. Cool. Oh, I like that. That works. At least it looks good enough. Oh, I need to use commas now. Okay. It was utils, and it was what? I don't remember. Application root, dear. See, they also like to just like export functions and call them, instead of having them all be like impl tied to some kind of struct. So yeah, I don't really understand. Like, I know some people really think that the dot syntax is better, like objectively better, but I don't know. I'm fine with both syntaxes if I have to play with them. So what does that allow me to do? That allows me to call application root dir right here, right? Pretty sure that's what that does, because that's what they were doing down here, I think. Or else, how else are you going to get it? No, they're calling app root, but app root is equal to that. So I instead of just assigning this to a variable, why don't I just inline it? Don't really see why not. And let me think. Let me think. Think. Yes, there's so much stuff happening here that I'm kind of overwhelmed. I don't remember Amethyst being this complicated before. Yeah. Well, I remember like the pipeline building stuff. with the rendering passes, which I'm not going to be playing with right now, because I don't really... Well, I do know I'm probably going to want Draw UI, and I'm probably going to want to use Draw Sprite. I am probably going to just use exactly this pipeline anyway, I feel. Oh, they even have a logger? Wow. Yeah. Let's start with the assets directory. The other thing we want is this Pong. Whatever Pong is. Use Pong. Okay. Okay, so yeah, it's just a pub struct Pong, but Pong has simple state implemented for it, and I'm pretty sure simple state must be something that I shouldn't say extends. It probably implements state, unless simple state is probably a new thing, isn't it? Where would simple state belong? Where would simple state come from? It has to come from one of these imports. The only one that I can think of where it would come from is this one. Prelude, of course. It's always the prelude. Yeah, so we're going to be browsing through the Amethyst source a bit because, well, it'll be easier, I'm sure. At least for me. For me, it's easier to just, like, browse the source to understand what's going on. Especially when the engine's in such early stages. Alright, so where does simple state come from? Oh, wow, state. So yeah, there's multiple kinds of states. There's an empty state, and then there's a simple state. Alright. It didn't used to be called simple state. It used to be called just state. So I'm curious to know why the differentiation. Is there like a state trait now? Oh yeah, there is, look. Yeah. Alright, this is kind of fancy and different and interesting. And here's our simple state. It has 2 lifetime specifiers. Wonder why. Simple state is a trait because it contains game data as its state data and no custom state event. Oh. Okay, yeah, a lot has changed since I used this. Whoa, what? Shadow fixed update. Executed repeatedly at stable, predictable intervals, 1/60th of a second, okay, by default. Even when this is not the active state. Oh, right, because that's a fixed update. Fixed update always executes every 1/60th of a second. But interesting, this is a shadow update. So it's still going to keep updating even if it's not an active state. That's really interesting. Struct.statemachine.html. Oh, right, because it's a triple slash means that this is going to be in the documentation. So these are actually, yeah, this is actually in the documentation for Amethyst. That's cool. That's just a regular old comment. So I guess they just commented out this line. Wonder why? So they had a trait that or what? Yeah, this trait implemented state. So that doesn't seem to do so right now. So this is like a, oh, so simple state. Huh. Very interesting. So these are pretty similar looking. Okay, there seems to be a difference in update. Huh. This will give us a transition to a new state. But this one will always give us an empty transition. Fascinating. I wonder why you would want to do this. Because this will always return an empty transition. An empty transition doesn't... it means that there's no transition, right? Like, that seems like what it would mean. Empty state... An empty... Yeah. An empty state trait contains no state data or custom state event. Fascinating. So this one has no lifetimes. Doesn't contain anything special. Empty trans? Okay, I am so confused. Ah, simple trans holds game data in it, but an empty trans holds nothing. So an empty trans isn't a transition that does nothing, it's a transition that doesn't hold any additional data. That's really interesting. So here's what I think is kind of confusing. Why is this the one that that has all the things that return empty trans? Well, this, the simpler one, is the one that returns things that have data. I'd feel like the simple version should return no data, and the one that isn't labeled simple would actually return data. Like, wouldn't that make sense? Anyway, that's just my random thought about naming. And the state machine is here. We don't need to worry about the state machine too much, as far as I remember. It kind of just does its thing. It's good to know how it works, though. And it seems like they haven't really changed too much here. Yeah, they still have the push, pop, and switch transitions. That hasn't changed. Oh, and here's the tests. Yeah, they still do tests in this format, where the tests go at the bottom. Alright. So I've got a pretty good look at how all this works now, I think. It's kind of overwhelming how many options there are now, though. Because now we have, like... Because before we only had, like, state. And that was nice and simple. Now we have, like, empty state. And, like, empty trans and, like, the non-empty one. And then we have, the simple state. And that... yeah, it's... Yeah, this is a... it's a bit much for me right now. Hopefully it isn't too hard to use. But yeah, just seeing all this is... it's mind-boggling. I guess they want to make sure to cover a lot of different use cases, though. So, yes. Let's... I guess let's try and figure out what we want to put here. So, Pong was using simple states. So already at this point we need to make a decision, because now that there isn't just like a general state trait that you should use for all states, now we actually have to start making decisions about what state trait to use based on the design of the game itself. So that's going to be kind of interesting and tricky. Let's... Okay, so... I want to look at that Pong example again. Just to be sure that I'm not missing anything here. Alright, so we want to look at the Pong module. Okay. So, the simple state has game data. That would be this. Yeah, it has some state data. And it binds just the world So okay, so we have a world variable in scope here. It basically just does like a pattern match, kind of like what I was doing with like the if-lets. And the rest of the fields it doesn't care about. And it passes the world into these various different helper functions, or I guess methods. Procedures? Those look like freestanding functions. Yeah, they are, because they don't even have like a blah dot thing. So, yeah. So these are just functions, or I keep calling them functions because they have the little fn, fun kind of name to them, but they're not really pure, so it's kind of hard to really call them functions. Anyway, looks like this is kind of what I want to do. Now, what is the other field? Like, I know that they allow not just like simple states, they allow like the more complicated ones that contain what was it, state events? And I don't really know what state events are for, because I don't want to like commit to simple states only to find out later I should have been using state events later. It's kind of tempting to just, well, okay, I guess the way I should think about this is, if I need more than this, I can refactor. It's early enough that it's not going to be a huge problem. I need to do some research into whether or not I need to use something that isn't simple state for my purposes, or if I can just get away with the simple state as is. Yeah, so for the sake of just moving things along, I'm going to continue with what I currently have. Yeah, that seems about right. And before we move on, I want to add a new, what was it, Rust package or something? I don't know. What is this? This is the thing with the circle in it. So I want the thing with the circle in it package. We're gonna call it what? How about states? Does that make sense? I'm not 100% sure, but I kind of want to have like I want to have a folder with like all the game states in it. Since the entire thing is already like the game, I feel like that's appropriate. We're gonna have the I always have trouble trying to name the first state. Because sometimes I want to call it like the main state. I might just call it that. Although having two main.rss is kind of yeah. I also go with play state sometimes. That one I'm kind of okay with. I know they call theirs Pong. So I might want to follow that convention and just call it what, like Mini-rando? I could do that. Oh no. Alright, we're following their convention. I probably will want to rename this later, actually, but for now, just gonna roll with this. Again. Oh yeah, another thing I did, I moved the filled item out of here because I just felt like it belonged in the filler, because that's the only place where it really matters. It's here. Not a big change, but something to document anyway, while I'm thinking about it. So I'm going to do another mod.rs because why wouldn't I? It makes sense, I think. And we're going to copy this mod.rs, essentially, by not at all copying any of that stuff I just highlighted, because I only have Mini-rando as a module right now. Or yeah, so that's all I need. I should also do a mod states. Those are the game states. Should be obvious enough, right? I think that is clear enough as it is that I won't be bothered by it in the future. And this guy will have a pub struct, I don't know, Mini-rando, in which we kind of do what they did here and implement simple state. So what do I want to do? Use what? Amethyst. Oh, hello. Seems like a bug that would result in... Oh. Okay, I was expecting only an opening parenthesis before, or opening brace, if you want to be like super pedantic about it. What do I want again? I want the prelude, don't I? Yeah, I just want the prelude. It's always the prelude. The prelude has everything. And that works. Okay, we gotta implement some methods then. Oh! Huh. So right, they have default implementations for most things, don't they? So I don't even need to implement the rest of those other methods, at least not right now. Yeah, all right, works for me. I'll do it. I'm okay with that. State data, game data. Oh boy. So game data must also come from there too? I'm making a lot of assumptions right now because I'm not sure how this works. Amethyst has changed pretty quickly over the last several months. So it's kind of surprising. Whenever I come in and see all these new things that I didn't see before, it's always very overwhelming. So we gotta use our new Mini-rando state. We'll get Mini-rando out of it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yay, we have a game. Let's try compiling first. Oh, unresolved import. Really now? There is no import for this. Really? 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 I'm dumb. I just realized something. I'm reading off of the develop branch. This stuff doesn't exist in version 0.8.0 or whatever. So the question is, do I want to use the last known release and then have to deal with all these changes when in the future, or do I want to just use the develop branch? That's a hard one to think about. I think I want to roll with the stable release for now. That seems like the smart thing to do. But seeing all those new things is kind of interesting. Yeah, it's a big update, but apparently there's already been some pretty massive changes yet again. How do I get back to the source code, but on that version? I don't know if that would do it. I don't trust it. I'm gonna... Well, is this gonna work? Because it's probably... That was probably pushed a while ago. No, that's not gonna work. There's a way to view this. I know there is. Click on this. There we go. Now if I go back to... what? Amethyst. It'll be on that? No, it won't. Dang it. What if I go here? Oh wait, browse files. There we go. Yes, perfect. That's exactly what I want. So, now I'm going to look at the examples again, and this time we're gonna work with the examples as they were back then. See, look, this is back when everything had to be done in separate lines like that. Okay, yeah, a lot of things have changed. A lot of things have changed. So many things that have changed are kind of fundamental that I'm not really sure I want to go back to this version then. Because the develop branch, like the current master branch, is so much, it's so much further ahead, so much, it's so different. It's so different that I don't know if I really want to do this. Yeah, this is a hard decision to make. I'm so tempted to just use the current develop branch or master branch. I'm pretty sure this used to be called develop. Yeah, I swear there was like a develop branch on here, and that was the one where everything was up to date, but okay. Decisions. Lots of decisions. The 0.8.0 definitely predates simple state, I'm pretty sure. Because if I look in here, there's no simple state, it's just state. This is what I remember. Yeah. Okay, well, and wow, yeah, and they don't even implement these anymore? Like, yeah, enough has changed that I'm kind of tempted to just change from 0.8 to the not so stable current release, I guess. Yet to be released. Because it would mean less changes in the future. And that is kind of what I am looking towards. I guess it's a question of how soon am I going to finish compared to when they're going to release the next update. Because changing a lot of things is going to be a pain in the butt. I'm sure a lot is going to change between now and then, too, so I guess I shouldn't get too attached to what I see there and just stick with the 0.8.0. Because either way, we're going to be making changes no matter what. That seems to be inevitable. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with what I have and just kind of hope for the best. But yeah, I'm going to have to be aware of the fact that there's going to be massive sweeping changes once the next version, the next point release is out. Alright. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. I'm going to start working on turning this into 0.8.0 code. And we're going to try and actually get a game running. It'll be like a blank game with nothing happening in it. We're going to slowly integrate our algorithm into it by actually adding like entities and stuff. But for now, this is where we're going to call it.